Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about what should you be doing during part 1 of the anniversary and how you can spend it productively. Obviously, all things considered, just keep in mind that there is still some content coming for the remainder of part 1. We're going to get a couple of updates to the Dokkan Chronicle events, to the 10th anniversary events for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if we also get a super easy A or 2, considering Janemba and Strength Gogeta's and that details were announced on the JP Twitter, so we are going to get some more content likely for part 1. So just keep that in mind when I talk about this, and I'll try to keep it in mind as well whilst talking about what you can do. But right now there is still plenty to do. You've got the Dokkan Chronicles and all that, but we're going to go in tab order. So obviously we have the 4 story events. I know there's not much to farm from them right now, but they do still give you stones, and you might want to consider finishing all of that up to get ready for part 2 when they're going to become really important. Next, of course, we also have the update to the DB story event for GT Baby Saga. This one, obviously, again, you mainly want to do for the sake of getting those stones, but there is also the currency you can actually farm from here, the Hercules badges that you can use for Kais, and they've added 2 more to the shop, so there is at least something that you can farm there to obtain some additional rewards. Next, obviously we're going to talk a little bit about the events that players are kind of running through. So aside from the story events, aside from all that, you do have some growth events, the standard ones, and then we have the Clash of Super Warriors. There's not a ton, I would say, in terms of growth events. I think part 2 will probably bring some more new updated ones, maybe with some new skill orbs for new categories and things like that, that I think will help us out. Obviously, Dokkan events and Dokkan Awakening your characters, just do that. Make sure that you've Dokkan Awakened all your characters, especially as a new player. Catching up on Dokkan Awakenings is quite intense. In terms of the Extreme Z battles, obviously we have the 2 super easy A's for Vegeta and currently for Buhan. We are likely probably going to get Janemba and Strength Gogeta before part 2, and honestly you should be doing any easy A's you haven't done. So go and catch up on easy A's, super easy A's, anything like that. You should be making sure you do while you got this time, because you do have time now, so you know it's pretty cool. In terms of challenge stuff, this stuff is a lot more permanent, so there's no rush really to do it unless you're desperate for stones. But we do have the Goku's Story Edition, the Vegeta Story Edition, the Dokkan Chronicles. We have the Supreme Magnificent Battle, Super Warriors. We have a lot of different challenge events that are up, so you can obviously partake in those. And then of course probably the most important one is the Ultimate Clash. Make sure that you finish Ultimate Clash. There's only a couple more days before they release part 2. Traditionally part 2 has not had a ton of stones with it, unless they change it this time around. Last time they just gave us tickets, I think, in the worldwide celebration. So this will be your last chance to get some big stones. And then obviously finally the Porunga, the Shenron Dragon Balls events. You're going to want to make sure you do that. Part 2 will release more of them, but just make sure you're up to date and you should be good to go. Last but not least, of course, guys, as always, you can farm stones from quest mode, or farm links from quest mode, more importantly. If you need to farm links, then great, you can farm links, it's always awesome. But yeah, that's pretty much the only thing you can do if you're maxed out on everything, finished everything. That's what I usually do. There's tons of XP, stamina refresh, and boosts now during the anniversary, so it is a great time to link level. Especially if you're new to link leveling, you'll get a ton of links. And of course you can always summon. That's always something. If you got stones, summon. So yeah, cool.